Hi, welcome to this week's astrology report. I am Jody Shirami at astropod_cast, and this is for the weekly report of July 11th through July 18th. We are in the middle to the end of Cancer season. Whew, so this has been a very relaxing time, sort of. And really what's happening this week is that today, or I guess early afternoon, the Aquarius Moon has moved in here. After the full moon yesterday of the Capricorn full moon, it's now moved into Aquarius. And the Aquarius Moon is now conjuncting Pluto in Aquarius. As it opposes recently entered Lucifer into Leo. Lucifer's been in Cancer and now it has moved into Leo. And Lucifer, as according to Rick Levine, is saying that it's bringing some needed looks, long, hard looks at what we need to change emotionally, as it is opposing the Aquarius Moon. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And then on July 14th, Saturn retrogrades begins its retrograde. It was stationed direct on the 14th and it will start moving backwards on the 15th. And again, this is a kind of optical illusion when planets are retrograde. And when they station retrograde, they're very powerful. What the message they want us to relive and revise, re-edit, take another look at is going to be a time when messages will get mixed up here. And during this time that Saturn is retrograde, it's going to be a very powerful time to restart, rethink what we're doing, and really look deeply into ourselves, because Saturn, again, doesn't like half effort. It wants full effort, and is here to teach you the prosperity and the feeling of confidence you get when you work hard and you go through that obstacle course that you must go through. And so here we are with Saturn going retrograde in Aries, and it will be moving back into Pisces on September the 7th. Now that we're dealing with Saturn retrograde, because Neptune went retrograde last week, as Saturn station retrogrades here, it is the closest it will be to Neptune. And we spoke about this a little bit last week, where it's about 15 minutes. Now it's 14 minutes away. So it's very close to Neptune, but before it gets completely conjunct, it goes retrograde and it stays right here. And it moves quicker than Neptune, so it's going to move back quicker into Aries by September 7th, as I just spoke up, and Neptune will not be going back into Pisces. Neptune will not be going back into Pisces retrograde until about, I believe, November. Then they will both begin moving forward and conjunct for real in February 20th of 2026. So 2202026. So that is going to be a huge moment in history that we are all waiting to hear what's going to happen, to see what's going to happen, because again, that is a big, powerful conjunction of two outer planets. And it's going to be huge because it's going to begin at 0 to 1 degrees of the cardinal axis sign at world axis point of Aries. The beginning of the beginning, so to speak. So we've been watching and seeing things happen, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. Then on July 17th, which is next Thursday, Mercury is going to retrograde, station retrograde in Leo at 15 degrees at the world axis point. So again, we just spoke about Lucifer coming in here at 0 degrees of Leo, and now Mercury is going to retrograde at the world axis point of a fixed sign, which is Leo at 15 degrees. And again, this is a huge moment of resetting, of really taking our minds and our communication to a higher evolutionary level. And then on next Friday, July 18th, Taurus Moon, the moon shifts into Taurus after beginning with being in Aquarius today on Friday. Until next Friday, Taurus Moon will come in here, and the Taurus Moon, as it enters, will square Pluto, which is also retrograde in Aquarius. And then the Sun in Cancer will be squaring Eris, Mars' sister, in Aries. So, I would have to say this week is a very powerful week in terms of all of the stations, all of the planets, especially the outer planets, preparing to go retrograde. And Mercury's also going retrograde here. And Mercury again is in Leo, getting ready to go retrograde. And a lot of times Mercury would have already moved out of here, but because it's been slowing down, preparing to go retrograde in Leo, the same time as Uranus is preparing to enter, as the same time as Uranus is now in Gemini. And then the big outer planets are already pretty much retrograde. We are going to be feeling very uncomfortable because, again, the retrograde planets are more powerful, and when they interact with the personal planets, namely Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, our personal feelings and collectively we'll all be feeling like we are in a box because there's a lot of squares this week. We're going to feel like we're in a box with Saturn stationing retrograde. We're going to feel frustration where we might not be progressing along the way we want as quickly at what speed we would like, especially as Mercury retrogrades in Leo, where there's a lot of fire energy pushing us to go. Now it's going to slow down. Our communications are going to slow down. The internet could slow down. There could be a bunch of things happening with the internet, with Uranus recently moving into Gemini, which is a communication sign. So be on the lookout for a lot of maybe things going wrong with your computers. So be careful with that, especially water damage with Jupiter and Cancer here. We've already seen a lot of flooding. Since July 4th, there's been some major flooding in the USA and also out in the big world on the global stage. There's also a lot of that happening. And the other thing that's happening is there's a lot of fires going on. Again, that has to do with the Aries, Saturn, Neptune, where Neptune is a water sign. It represents the ocean, the deep, dark ocean. And now it's being restricted in Aries, with Saturn being almost conjunct to it, is restricting the water. And again, Aries is also a fire sign. So the fire sign with Saturn in here, there's a lot of fires. And then with Jupiter in Cancer, there's a lot of flooding. And that combination is causing all kinds of havoc out in the world. And again, this week, as the moon travels through the planets that the outer signs rule, which are Aquarius, Pisces, and then they have Saturn and Neptune in Aries. With all these things happening, a lot of it is going to be emotionally volatile time for us. So this Cancer season with Jupiter here, with it being Cancer decan, before it moves to the Cancer Scorpio, we're in the Cancer Scorpio decan right now. And Pluto rules over Scorpio, and Mars rules over Scorpio. So with Mars now in Virgo, where it's very uncomfortable, and with Pluto having some aspects this week, we are personally really feeling it through the moon's traveling ingresses into these outer planet signs, especially Aquarius and Pisces. We're really going to feel this week emotionally frustrated. We could have some really horrible days, and then it could be up and down with Uranus and Gemini. So, and then Mars again in Virgo, feeling frustration, and Venus here in Gemini is also feeling up and down. I like this, I don't like that. So there's all kinds of things happening this week that we are being really shown what it is we want and don't want, what it is makes us comfortable, what makes us happy, what we don't like. So we're really getting to see our emotional landscape this week as we head into the end of Cancer next week, when July 22nd arrives and we head into Leo season and the sun prepares to go opposite of Pluto in Aquarius. And again, Pluto is already retrograde and the sun will be entering here next week. So we are really, we really have to up our emotional landscape this week. We have to really see where we're still holding on to past traumas we should release. We should see we're still being, if we're still stuck in certain emotions, the way we react to things. We have to see what our desires, what we want is really true. Is this what we're heading for? Do we like what we've been working on? Do we want to continue that? And that is the best strategy from now until next February 2026, is that if you're working on something that you just started maybe last month or whatever, keep working on that and don't try anything new right now. Because trying something new right now could be very frustrating as the planets begin to retrograde, and especially Mercury, because Mercury is what moves ideas and information forward. So here we go with all this stuff. It's now happening. So I would say we are in the place where all the players are on stage. They're in their dress rehearsal. Now we're trying to see if these costumes match what we want, how we're feeling after we've already done our read out loud of our dialogue. Now we're dressed in our costume. Now we're trying out our dialogue on the stage. So now we're going to fix these little things that might be wrong. Maybe the conversation, the dialogue needs to be adjusted. Maybe our costumes need to be adjusted. They're too hot, or they're not going to last through a whole scene. So this is where we're at, and it begins this week. And it's going to last until February. So there's going to be a lot of adjustments these next couple of months into the new year that may be uncomfortable, something we may have to address and say, well, okay, I didn't like that. I probably should change that. That's not going to work for me. I don't like that costume. It's a little too itchy. I don't think I could wear it 3 times a day during the shows. So this, this is what we're talking about, is that all the world's a stage. And this is our time to try on our costumes and our jewelry and all this to see if this is what we like, if this is who we are, if this represents our true character that we want to show the world while we're working on our inner emotions and our inner dialogue, to see if we are mature enough to handle these changes that are coming next year when they start to move for real, all these outer planets and personal planets. Then next year we will be our opening. The opening of our show will be next year, starting February till April. We'll have that time frame to open up our story and show the world. And then we can still go back and do a little bit of editing with Mercury retrograde again, or some planets retrograde, when we get to do a little bit more editing. So that's going to be short and sweet this week, because again, most of it is emotional, is something we've been working on. Now we just have to tweak it, refine it, maybe put another coat of paint on it, on our costume, on our scenery, to make it more realistic, more comfortable. Make sure all the colors match correctly. Make sure we are in our comfort zone before we get out in front of the audience. And then it's a little bit too late when we make mistakes then. Although hopefully the audience will be very forgiving and we can tweak it on the fly, right? So thank you for being here this week. Again, it's a busy, emotional, inner working week. And the best thing to do, again, is to remain calm, meditate, be alone with no sound involved. Just listen to the breeze, the birds, the ceiling fan, whatever it is. Just sit there in quiet when you're facing some things that you maybe had pushed under the rug, had maybe left back there, but still back here kind of talking to you. And now you either want to keep talking to you or you want to get rid of it altogether. So really take your time. It's going to be a time thing. It's not going to be like this. It's just not going to happen quickly. No great work takes little time. All great work, all great improvements, all great changes take time. Okay, like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. So thank you for being here. I appreciate all of your support. All these past couple of weeks have been so intense. So this week you kind of get an emotional vacation in terms of it's going to be a lot of things happening, but you have to address it this week as we prepare to head into some serious times coming up, okay? So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hi to all my spiritual children. I'm here. If you want to talk to me, go ahead and call me. If I don't answer right away, I will call you back. And thank you for everyone who supports me. I really appreciate it. To all my new followers and subscribers. I will be back next week. Thank you. Have a great, meditative, quiet, peaceful week. And I'll see you next week. Okay? Bye.